Hello, my name is Deahnne. I was born with spina bifida and have a lived experience of mental health issues since an early age, which is psychosocial term for NDIS. When I first heard about NDIS, I didn't know if I would be eligible, even though I have a lived experience pretty much my whole life with a disability. It wasn't until I started hearing about it more and I started going to various workshops and conferences that I realised that I would be eligible because it wasn't means tested. So what I was earning was not taken into consideration. Because I was working at the time and thought that I actually earned too much, which is how I slipped through the cracks to get the supports that I needed. Through NDIS, I realised that my needs can be met because I do meet the eligibility requirements. As yet, I don't have a plan but have been through the planning process, so just waiting for the plan to arrive. I have done at least a dozen sessions of pre-planning, one-on-one with my pre-planner. That those sessions have happened within my house. And since first starting the sessions, I now have moved house to an accessible house for my disability, which I now call my home, which I could not do before. And through NDIS, I hope to enhance my accessibility and the setup of my home to make it better for me to live here long term. My goals, the process for my goals came over time with the pre-planning sessions that I did. As I mentioned previously, I'd done about a dozen inside my home and outside in a social environment for my pre-planner to get to know me better, to know how I reacted in my home or spoke, and how different it was for me to socialise outside my home and to be around environments that I suppose I didn't feel comfortable with, but as part of my goals, I wanted to be more comfortable with outside the home. First couple of sessions I had with the pre-planner was going over my vision for my needs and what it was that I felt I was missing from my life that I have had previously, which had to stop for various reasons, and that I wanted to start again, and it is starting again. And with starting, for example, a particular goal that I chose was that I wanted to participate at a recreation level to start off with my lawn bowls. As I play in a wheelchair, my goal was set up that to be able to achieve the goal, the extra goal of most probably of course being competitive, even though it's recreational, you still want to be competitive, or I do anyway. I needed a purpose-built lawn bowls wheelchair so that I was lower to the ground. I was able to freely push up and down the green, which I looked into assistive technology to help me with that. And I also have, through that goal, I have free supports where I increase my social capacity by going to the club and meeting people, playing with like-minded people that want to achieve in lawn bowls as well. And also for me giving back to the community as well, being part of a community, and my experiences of I have been a top level athlete and I have actually previously represented Australia in lawn bowls, so that's where I suppose the competitive side is there, and I want that back. It's something that I had to give up, which has affected my life both physically and psychosocial, because I haven't been able to attend the club. So part of NDIS is going to assist me with having support people to come with me to the club to do with my safety, as well as company to get into the process of just enjoying lawn bowls again and enjoying that part of my life again. In my first and second session with my pre-planner, and when we were going through the planning process, it was about what was my vision for what I wanted my life to be. And a lot of that was around what my life had been, through my sport particularly, because that was a big part of my life. I have been an elite athlete, and I missed being part of the community, and that is a typical community, not just the disabled community. I am part of that, but I also have, through my lawn bowls, the social outlet of being at a club where I belong, being part of a community, and it is part of my friendship group. It's where I catch up socially with people. I go to the meat raffles, so I have the social side where anyone goes to meat raffles. It just happens to be a lawn bowls club as well. And through being part of the NDIS, my goal is that I want to be, I suppose, competitive in that community, and it's really nice to win a game against someone who's walking and you're in a wheelchair. So, but I need access to the equipment so that I don't have to be in pain while bowling a lawn bowl down the green. So a purpose-built wheelchair is what I've asked for in my plan, and I've also asked for a portable ramp so that I can access the bowling green by myself, so I don't have to ask for help all the time. I can still have that bit of independence when I just want to, you might be having a rough day and people can easily just go to the gym, but I can't do that. So for me to have that portable ramp, be able to have the equipment and get all the equipment together myself so I can go and train and have a session to myself, me time, because that's self-care as well, and it's all part of my life. And also the assistive technology, which I've mentioned before, is going to help me in that, but that's also going to help me in my everyday life, because then I might be able to go for a walk around the lake with some friends. They might be on their bikes, and if I have that assistive technology, I can keep up pace when they're on their bikes or they're rollerblading or something like that. So it's not just being in the competitive side of things, it's also the social side is an outlet for me as well that I have missed since I haven't been well with my mental health, which is psychosocial, for me to leave my house. So when I started the NDIS process to get a plan together of what my needs were, or what I wanted to happen in my life, and I suppose it's the next 12 months, is that I set up with my pre-planner and I'm going to say her name is Jan, so I'll just call her Jan throughout. So Jan and myself sat down a number of times, but the first couple of sessions were related to working out my vision and what I wanted my life to look like. And I've been a competitive elite athlete previously, and I retired from that sport in 2010. So it's been a few years now where I haven't had that part of my life, and where I felt safe to have that part of my life. And to be competitive and to have something in the community and something socially that I could hold on to, which was lawn bowls. So part of the what we set out, and I see it as a tip for everyone to look at, is, or to work out for themselves what their vision is. So I've just explained what my vision was, that I wanted to get back into being, I suppose, start off recreationally, but it'll be a competitive sport in the end, which is lawn bowls. To be part of the community, to have the equipment to actually do that part of my life, and NDIS will help me with that. So it wasn't just to participate in sport and be part of a typical community. It's also having a home to live in, to feel safe, and I call my place now is my safe haven. I have a cat, and she's very much part of my life in my home. And sometimes I think she thinks it's her home first and foremost. But she is definitely a part of that. I also have work that it's not paid work, but I volunteer, or I go into schools and actually talk to school kids about opening up about mental health issues early and getting help early. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and that is a big part of my life at the moment. I have just started this year studying, which has been a goal of mine probably for the last 4 or 5 years. I never liked school, so this is actually a big step for me to go back to study. I'm going to study community development at CIT, and hopefully get a certificate 4 at the end of that. And all of these bits or parts of the life that I want back, or to enhance my skills in life, is going to help with my physical and mental health and well-being. And I suggest as the tip for people wanting to go get into the NDIS is to actually think of their vision. That's my vision. It's personal, and that's what NDIS is, personal. It's an individual plan. It's individualised. It's yours. It's not anyone else's. What you might want or need, probably more in need, is not what I need, and that's vice versa. So, and once we got Jan and I got the vision down on paper, it was something then I could work out the goals from that, well, what are the goals is that I can get to those different components that I want in my life. And that took a good while to do, but it was also for Jan and myself to get to know each other, and Jan to know what my life was like, inside the home and outside the home. We had sessions together that were in various different environments, and she got to know how I reacted in those, and therefore that came down to then what were my needs from those goals. And Jan being through the process previously with other people that are now part of the NDIS really helped in then for me to understand those goals and what components and needs I needed to, or she suggested of what it was that maybe could help me to actually get to that goal, and therefore meet my vision of what I want in the next 12 months specifically and further on in my life, which I think we've gotten to that. Well, I haven't got a signed plan in place, but I have had a planning meeting. I'm not saying it was the easiest process to go through, even with the meeting, but I think I got my point across in the end of what my needs were and what my vision was and what I wanted happening in my life, that staff at the NDIA finally realised what it was that I needed and what would assist him to get those needs, and it's looking like that's going to go through, and therefore the next 12 months and into the future my vision is going to be met. So there are a couple of items that I have chosen to self-manage myself, and the NDIA will directly put finances into my account, and the rest I'm going to have plan managed by a service provider to assist me, because of me working or volunteering, and also with my study. I just didn't feel I had the expertise and the time to be able to manage my whole plan, and that is personal again, and that is individualised again as to what your life is like and whether you actually think you can do it. And there are providers out there that can joint manage with you and plan with you and assist in relation to, for example, for me is the equipment that I'm going to need. So it's not just been talking about a lawn bowls wheelchair, but it's also items in the house, which is going to take a while to do, and I'm going to have therapies, and I'm going to have an occupational therapist. So there's a lot of intermediary work in getting support workers for me and an occupational therapist for me, and I'd prefer someone else to deal with that on my behalf, because particularly when I'm unwell, and that can go on for, it can be days, weeks or months, it means then I don't have that extra pressure on me for my health. So the NDIS to me is going to be life-changing. I have fallen through the cracks a lot throughout my life because I have worked and I have been able to financially support myself in everything that I have wanted to do and needed to do to live my life. Since I retired from work due to medical reasons, I now financially cannot support myself in all of the goals that I've mentioned that I have previously been able to do. So the NDIS is going to enable me to actually go out into the community and get those needs back and those goals that I have been doing previously, but now due to safety reasons, financial reasons, and there's many other reasons medically that I have not been able to continue. So to have what I say, my life back, is going to be, I don't know, I'm going to be so happy. I can't believe how much it's going to change. And it's not all going to happen at once, I know that, but life is long term.